One of the first things we're going to look at in our statistics packet here is this symbol. It looks like an exclamation point, but in mathematics we call that a factorial. Okay, a factorial means that you start with that number and you go all the way down to 1 multiplying. So what 5 factorial means is 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. It's called a factorial in mathematics, and that's what it means. So then you would take 5 times 4 is 20, 20 times 3 is 60, 60 times 2 is 120, times 1, there you go, 120. Of course, we have our calculators, so you do have a factorial button on here. So if you turn it on, and I'm going to put in 5 first, and then under math, all the way over to your probability tab. It's right here, the 4th one down is your factorial, and then you push enter. Now I have 5 factorial. I push enter again, and it shows me 120. Okay. So that's a lot easier than trying to calculate. So if you have operations, of course, order of operations hold true, and I can do those operations. I just use the factorial button. So like on the next example, I do 12 factorial divided by 6 factorial. So 12 math factorial divided by 6 math factorial equals, and I get that big number. So next example, 8 factorial. So I just go 8 math probability factorial, and there's my answer. Okay, so when you do have order of operations like the next one, you do need parentheses around your denominator to say you want 9 factorial divided by that product. Okay, so I would go 9 factorial divided by parenthesis 2 factorial times 6 factorial. Like that. And you should get 252. Things that we're going to learn in this section is what we call permutations. This is the symbol for a permutation. It's NPR. And then we also have a combination, NCR, and these might sound familiar. I think you've done these before, okay? And here's the formulas for NPR, NCR, okay? That uses the factorial. That's why we practiced using that button. But I even have an easier way. You actually have a permutation and combination button on your calculator. So I'm going to show you how to use those. So on your calculator, to do 8P1, this means how many ways can you pick one of the 8. That's what it means for permutations. You have to put in the 8 first, so 8. Then you go math, and it's under that same probability tab, the NPR. So you push number 2, enter. And then see how you have 8 NPR, and then you put the 1, and then enter. And that's how many ways you can pick 1 out of the 8, which should make sense. There's 8 ways to pick 1. Okay, so try the next one, 12P11. You put in 12 first, then the NPR button, then the 11, which is this big number, which makes sense. Permutations are usually quite large. And then let's do one more, 5P2. So again, you put 5, then the NPR, then 2, and that's 20. Right? And usually when we get to the story problems in the next part, we'll say 20 ways, 8 arrangements. They'll have labels, but we're just practicing the buttons today, so that's good enough. Hence, combinations. You should notice the formula is different, but again, we have a button, so we're just going to use the button. So at 6C2, how many ways can you choose 2 of the 6? Order doesn't matter on combinations. Again, I'd go 6, math, NCR, 2 equals 15. And you should notice that combinations, your numbers are going to be smaller than permutations. and then 7C3, so 7 math, C, and then 3, and that'd be 35.